What's going on, guys? This is Patty Sky, the price action queen. Today we're gonna get into why you should focus on fewer stocks and how it can lead to bigger gains, and I'm gonna use Tesla as an example. Let's get into it. So I would like to hop into why I focused on Tesla, what are the exact things that I saw, what kind of sentiment it had, and also, of course, the support and resistance. If you've seen my other videos, you know we always start with step one, and that's setting our support and resistance lines. So I have all of my support and resistance lines already set on the chart. If you're interested in learning how to set these lines, go visit my other video right here. It's specifically on support and resistance lines, but let's jump into Tesla right now. I'm going to break it down from the 1-day, 1-year chart to the 20-day, 1-hour chart. This gives us a little bit better idea of what's kind of been happening with Tesla in the past 20 days. Tesla had earnings not too long ago, and it made a huge move up. The price increased almost $100 just from the day before it had earnings, which was on October 23rd. Just a couple weeks ago, it was trading under $300, and now it's hit $341. Because Tesla has been going down for such a long time, there's been a lot of negative sentiment around the company in general. This earnings was definitely a big, powerful move, especially because there were so many people that didn't expect for it to go up so high. Once I saw this massive price increase, this is usually a sign that a stock is going to keep moving and that momentum is going to really get it going. I knew that things weren't over for Tesla based on the price action and based on all the levels it was holding after earnings. There are some times where a company's price decreases after it has positive earnings, but there's a lot of hype that has been created around Elon Musk and Tesla for a very long time.
So is that a joint? That's all it is.
This is actually known as one of the most volatile stocks on the stock market. After the price shot up to $340 after earnings, it decreased all the way to $310 just in 3 days. After I realized it was holding this level on November 1st, I realized that this was most likely going to continue to the upside, so I didn't play it the immediate days after earnings because I wanted to see if it was going to hold some sort of support. From October 30th to November 4th, it held this 310 area as a strong support. It bounced off of this area almost 3 times, and usually it takes 3 times for the stock to decide if it's going to continue to the upside or if it's going to decrease and break that support level. So let's take a look at how I identified that this was definitely a level of strong support and it was most likely going to reverse from the 310 area. On October 30th, we see that Tesla hits the 318 level, and then it actually falls all the way to 310.03. But by the end of the day, it ends up bouncing up and closing over 315. It holds the levels throughout the next day, but then on November 1st, we see a big drop from 315 to 310. Once again, the stock makes its way up and it closes at 313.50. That's already 2 times that Tesla has bounced off of this area. So like I said, usually after the 3rd attempt, we are going to see some sort of reversal or it's going to fall through this level if it isn't strong enough. On November 1st, we actually see Tesla hit 310 once again, but buyers stepped in and took that price from 310 all the way to 321, 322 area. How can we confirm this? We have volume right here that shows after this slowdown, the buyers stepped in and they crossed these levels and it was actually able to hold. What we would be looking for the very next day, which would be Tuesday, November 5th, is for Tesla to possibly break below that 310 area or increase and stay and hold these areas of around 315 to 320. And that's exactly what it does. It does reach 324, but then it actually ends up falling that day and it ends up closing just above 315. The week of November 4th, Tuesday, November 5th was actually the first day that I began trading Tesla. What I was looking for was it to break below and hold, or break above and hold one of the support or resistance lines that we have charted on the chart. Tesla has seemed to be moving in $5 increments each day. Let's zoom into the most recent week and the first day that I took a trade and why I took that trade. So once I saw on Monday, November 4th, that Tesla was actually holding the 315 area, it tapped 320 and came back down at the end of the day, I became interested and I was looking for a potential trade the next day, Tuesday, November 5th. What I was looking for was for Tesla to reach that 320 area again and get rejected, or move above 320 and hold. If it reached 320 and it could not hold, then I was interested in betting on the downside to the 315 level. If it couldn't hold 315, I was interested in betting on the downside and riding the price down to 310. So Tesla opened up around the 318 level and it actually went to 323.26. That was the high of the day, again, Tuesday, November 5th. Once I realized that it couldn't hold and it started decreasing once it did hit that high, I looked at what price levels were next and I went from there. Once I realized it was breaking that 320 area and it couldn't hold, I placed my bet and I bought some 315 puts, anticipating that it would most likely go to this level or at least very close to it. By 2 o'clock, I saw that the sell-off was slowing down and the price actually started to increase, so I ended up selling my puts for a profit and the price decreased. So I profited from betting on Tesla going from 320 to 317, and I sold my puts at that level once I realized that buyers were stepping in and that it was most likely not going to go to 315 by the end of the day. Because Tesla had such a wide range in price each day, I was extremely interested in focusing on this stock until some of the momentum died down. This stock was making $10 to $15 moves, and I was interested in playing and making this one of my main focuses because this is all about profiting and probability. So let's move on to Wednesday, November 6th. Again, I'm interested in it holding or being rejected from one of the levels that we have charted. So once again, Tesla opened between 18 and 1850 for the second day in a row. I wanted to know if it was going to hold above this area and above the 320 area, or if it was going to dip below and bounce off of the 315 area, or if it was going to drop below 315. I saw the momentum slowing early in the day, and Tesla actually got rejected by the 320 area and it couldn't hold. So another day I bought some puts and I was anticipating this once again going to that 315 area. Around noontime, Tesla ended up dipping just under 315 and hit the 1415 area. This stock had fallen to one of the areas that we had charted already, and this is why it's so important in charting these lines. This is how I was able to predict where the price was going, and all I was looking for was some volume to confirm my move. So once I saw that Tesla wasn't able to hold the 320 area, I was interested in the same levels as the day before, so I bought some puts to the downside to that 315 area. Just before it hit 315, I sold some puts, and then I was interested to see what Tesla would do the rest of the day. I had been watching Tesla for a couple days now, and I realized that sometimes in the morning it would go up, and then it would come down by the end of the day, and then vice versa. Sometimes it would dip, and then it would make its way up, sometimes $5, sometimes $10. So once I saw Tesla started to reverse around 11 p.m. on Wednesday, I actually did go in for a quick play to the upside, and I played that play from 315 to 317.50. I stopped trading around 11:30, and then it's funny because I came back at the end of the day just to kind of follow up and see what happened. What actually ended up happening was Tesla hit this 326 area. I could have been up 5 more times than what I was, but that's okay. At least I was in the green. It gets a little interesting now because we finally passed the areas that we haven't been able to pass since the day after earnings. So now it's the same thing, just at different levels. I'm interested in seeing Tesla hold over 325 with some strength, and if it can't, I'm interested in seeing it get rejected to that minus $5 level of 320, or I'm interested in seeing it hold over 320 and hit that 330 mark. If it goes above 330, then I'm interested in seeing it go to 335. We see here on Thursday, November 7th, Tesla opened up around 330 and it actually ended up skyrocketing and pumping its way to 340 by 11 o'clock. This was a massive move and no sellers were in sight, so it was a great time to try and profit. This day, instead of buying puts, which is betting on the downside, I decided to bet on the upside, and once I saw Tesla was holding the levels that I have charted, I bought some calls and I profited to the upside. I traded Tesla 3 days in a row. Because I like to focus on very few stocks per week, I was able to really capitalize on this stock, and I was focused and less stressed because I knew exactly what was most likely going to happen. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's @PriceActionQueen. I post tips, tricks, and really funny stuff all the time. I'll see you guys next week.